named Zion.
I didn't say his name was Zion. No.
Just so I can check the box off, can I look in your basement real quick and I'll get out of here?
No, you need a search warrant to do that.
A woman named Sushi Staples, 37 years old, mother of 4, known for financial troubles and past identity theft, called 911 for what seemed like a welfare check. But behind that call lay a secret buried deep in paperwork, in fear, and eventually within her own home. A vague statement from the mother, who was reported by her friend opening a seemingly small welfare check, but leading to a serious situation.
How can I help you?
So we got kind of a weird phone call. Do you know?
No.
No.
I don't know anybody out here.
Some lady called DCFS. And,
What?
And kind of made some claims that you had a child that accidentally shot themselves.
Absolutely not.
A knock that opened not just a door, but a criminal documentary no one expected to unfold. A 911 call for a welfare check? Seemingly normal, but not so simple. A mysterious name that the homeowner insisted never existed. And a locked cellar door where she wouldn't let anyone go.
Her.
What's her name?
Her name is... This girl is never in it. She has so many different Facebook pages she stalks me from. She has made up different names, called me from different numbers.
Sushi's answer is immediate. Absolutely not. She blames her ex-husband's new girlfriend, harassment, gun posts, fake profiles, restraining orders. Drama out of Chicago, not Rock Island.
Wait, have we been here before?
No, you've never come to my house for anything. I've been here for 7 years and never had a problem in Rock Island.
Yeah, I didn't know who you were.
I work at... I'm a patient care tech. I'm a student at...
Okay.
I have a business in Davenport. This girl has made threats towards me on Facebook, posting her gun up, saying that she's gonna come to my addy. It's just never ending.
Right. So they made some allegation that...
The officer asks for a quick look downstairs, just to check the box. Sushi plants her feet, get a warrant.
Just so I can check the box off, can I look in your basement real quick and I'll get out of here?
No, you need a search warrant to do that. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not about to have my blood.
Legally correct, and now the call becomes serious. If there's a child safety concern, police must either get an exigent cause or a judge's signature.
No matter how crazy it sounds.
If you want to do that, I would suggest you go through the proper protocols. I'm not about to let some crazy woman who now has my husband make Uranus accusations like this and have my rights violated.
No, I get it.
That is not okay. I have 4 girls in here.
That's what I'm just asking. I'm not
4 children.
I'm not trying to blame anything on you. I'm not saying this is true. I was just asking. Okay.
This is nuts.
That's all it is.
From a routine welfare check to a moment straight out of a criminal documentary, officers felt something was deeply off. Riverside Police Department returned with a search warrant. During questioning at the kitchen table, they found a birth certificate in a bedroom with Zion Staples' name.
They handle that real seriously, okay? Because the allegations are that you have a son and that he's deceased and he's here in this house. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. Do you have a son named Zion?
No, I don't.
You've never had a son named Zion?
No.
Are you claiming benefits for a kid named Zion?
No. I haven't gotten any benefits for anyone. I just recently went through a situation where a young lady stole my identity and she falsely filed my taxes and my informations and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I've been working with the FBI. I've been working with the IRS. It's been a lot of things popping up, and
have you had any interactions with DCFS up in Chicago?
I did.
Okay.
False calls that were made.
Okay.
Correct.
One of the calls from 2021, DCFS came out to your residence in Chicago, and there was a Zion Staples there.
I told you my identity was stolen.
Mm-hmm.
My taxes were illegally filed. I went through a whole thing with the IRS. That was not me.
But who is this Zion that was interviewed by DCFS up in Chicago right in the presence of all your other children?
There was
As
no one
Zion
interviewed.
Staples.
No one was interviewed. Where does it say someone named Zion Staples was interviewed?
It was.
Because the call was made about my son.
Inside the living room, tone is calm but direct. Are you receiving benefits for a child named Zion Staples? Sushi says no. Identity theft, IRS headaches, FBI contacts, Department of Children and Family Services mix-ups in Chicago. But officers have prior Department of Children and Family Services notes from 2021 listing a Zion Staples present and address with her other kids. Sushi waves it off. Neighborhood kids were around all the time. Wrong names got a tat.
They did not. They took pictures of everyone that was in the house. Yes, we had frequent visitors. We had kids in the neighborhood come over. Some of those kids that were implicated were not, in fact, our children. They were there.
So you're saying there was a kid in your apartment that was not
If he's real, we need eyes on him.
named Zion.
I didn't say his name was
Staples.
Zion. No.
Cops level with her. Public aid, food stamps, tax claims, paper trails exist at this address. If Zion is a living child, they need to lay eyes on him. If he's a relative used for benefits, say so and solve it. If he's fake, explain the documents.
I haven't received any benefits. That's what I'm telling you.
Well, it's
Someone
under state-
has stolen my identity. I have proof of that. If you go in my phone, you'll be able to see the messages between me and the FBI agent in Milwaukee.
And get aid and come here is because the public health is telling us that the aid is under this address, under these kids' names, right?
Yep.
And that there's funds coming in from it. And that's public health. If there's a kid that we can go I don't care if it's here, in Indiana, Chicago, whatever, we can send somebody and say, yep, I am Zion Staples and this
Anybody
is
can do that.
and then another officer.
People
Let me
make
finish.
birth
No, let me
certificates.
finish here.
Listen,
Let me
What I was
finish
trying
here.
to say to you.
Okay? If you are claiming people back and forth amongst family members to get bigger returns, our biggest concern is that we can have somebody with law enforcement say, this is Zion, this is what's going on. And
The first crack, paper with a name. An officer lifts a folder, birth certificate, Zion Staples. Sushi had just said nothing in the house bore that name. Now the room feels different.
birth certificate?
What is that?
Birth certificate.
For Zion Staples.
Zion Staples.
That's not mine.
Sushi Staples. Child. It's found in your room.
We
along
need
with
to
the Social
we
Security
need
card.
to get this
Stop
figured out. Stop this.
lying.
It's over.
Where's that kid?
The officer draws a line in the sand. Earlier allegations were homicide. Her defense is fraud. Both are felonies. They need the whole truth now.
You need to come clean because we're not going anywhere. You're just gonna dig yourself a bigger grave now. I asked you if there's anything with Zion's name in this house. You said no. So let's start all over, okay? Who is Zion?
Because we're starting with something that we're being told really terrible, and then we're talking about down here with maybe fraud. We don't know. But somewhere along here, we need to get the full thing here and understand what this is. So what is the part of this that this really is? Because you know what they told you last night, and that's something horrible.
That's
then there's-
horrible.
And then we're talking about, are you getting benefits from a child that doesn't exist but have all this stuff for? We need to know the truth here. It's done, it's over. We're in the middle of this now. We have evidence to show this now.
So let's start over. Who is Zion? Is he your son?
What caused Sushi to fall into such a state of extreme stress and emotion? A shock, a secret, or a fear? Let's start exploring to find out the truth behind that emotion.
I mean, the cat's out of the bag now. I need to
Can I
know.
just get my kids somewhere safe, please?
We need to. Here's the thing, hon.
I will go with you where you want to go.
That's-
Just let me call my family. That's it.
We need to
Come
get.
get my kids. That's it.
We need to open up and talk about this.
Oh,
And I know this might be the toughest thing you've ever done, but we have to figure this out now. This is as serious gets, and we need to understand what's going on here. We're too far in now. Okay? Let's take a moment here. Let's relax. But we've got to get this discussed and get it out in the open.
I can see this is eating you up. This is eating you up inside, okay?
Oh my God.
Who is Zion?
A mother's ask. Sushi's voice softens. Let me call family to pick up my kids, then I'll talk.
Look, I will talk to you. But can I please just have my family come and get my kids?
Do you have family here?
They're 2.5 hours away, but they can come and get my kids, please. And I'll talk to you, okay? And that's my word.
Stay there.
We'll see what we can do, okay?
Just stay right there.
What you need to ask yourself is, the person that made this call, hypothetically, if they knew that something supposedly happened and waited to report something like that, what would that make them? What would that make them?
A witness.
An accessory after the fact? Because what? They came to you with this allegation and decided they wanted to use it when they got upset?
We're not blaming anybody else, okay?
We need to know what happened before we start getting to that point.
Because yeah, we could work stuff out on the back end on that, but I don't know what happened.
We don't know what happened until you tell us.
Detectives pause. They lean on the emotional fulcrum they often use. If you love your kids, tell us what happened to Zion. Speak for him.
And you can tell. Let's get it in the open.
You say you care about your kids, right?
I do.
Okay, well, what happened to Zion?
Speak for him. Speak for him.
He needs his closure and his rest, and we need to find him. Can you be strong for him and tell us what happened?
Am I going to jail for fraud? She tests the water. If she admits document fraud, will that be the end of it? Detectives won't promise anything. They need to locate a child or clear up what happened.
Am I gonna go to jail for fraud?
That's not our decision. You know,
Because I'm gonna take what you tell me, and I'm gonna call a state's attorney.
but the big thing is we need to know what the whole deal is. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, we just gather all the facts and present them, and then what the state's attorney decides is what the state's attorney decides. But we need to know the truth about Zion. What's the deal with that?
The partial confession. She describes a document maker. ID, SSN, birth certificates, pay stubs, diplomas. Her split, I got the benefits, someone else filed taxes. It's a story designed to keep the case on paper crimes.
Extra help, okay? That was it.
What do you mean by that?
I had a person that makes documents. And it was just really hard. Like,
So is Zion a real person?
no.
Tell me about how you got these documents.
I know a person that makes the documents.
Which documents did you get?
IDs, social security cards, birth certificates, things like that. Check stubs, high school diplomas. And they made it for me to have an extra dependent on my income taxes, but I never used it, so I gave it to somebody else to use for theirs, so they can get more money.
Okay, that doesn't add up though, because the benefit's coming to you at this house.
Yeah, so that was the thing. I get the benefits and they file the taxes.
That's the split.
That's the split.
Psych Reed. Her affect doesn't match fraud alone. The sobbing, the bargaining, the fixation on the kid's removal, officers sense something heavier.
More here than a fraud issue.
You've been through the system, and you're not going to be bawling and crying like that
For over some theft issue.
over a identity
That's a theft.
crap.
There's something more here, and we need to get that uncovered. And that's why we're saying, if you're not going to provide it, you know, we are going to talk to the kids too. We need to know what's going on here with this.
What? What's wrong with my, why is he yelling?
He was talking. He was trying to get somebody else.
There's something more going on here. That's why we were here. And I can tell by your emotion that it's more than a theft issue. And we need to unravel that truth of what's going on there. Because like we said, until we can fully prove and know what's going on, we're going to search till days ends till we uncover and know where this Zion is.
Detectives say it plainly. Your emotion says this is more than identity theft. They'll interview the children at a child advocacy center. Sushi spirals, commands the kids to ask for a lawyer, accuses police of railroading, and insists there is no Zion.
I'm worried about them. I'm worried about my children.
But this was one of your children too. And his soul is not to rest if we don't know what, if it's just like he's erased. He needs to be set free.
There is nobody to set free like here.
So the kids are going to say that they've never had a brother named Zion in their life. That's been erased from their memories.
Because we're gonna look for birth certificates.
What, are they taking my kids out of here? They're taking my kids?
Hey, you told us you would talk to us.
No, I didn't tell you that.
You told us that you would tell us what was going on here.
Mommy,
What
are
you-
you okay?
No, what's going on?
She's trying to take us.
Hang on.
What?
No.
Wait.
No.
What? Why are you trying to take my kids out of here?
Because we're gonna talk to them.
But you can't take.
No.
Can I call my lawyer? Do not talk to them without an attorney. Do you understand me?
Don't touch me.
None of you. Do not speak without an attorney. Do you hear me? Do you understand me? Look at me. None of you are to talk to them or answer any questions without an attorney, okay? You understand? Don't answer any questions at all. You understand? You understand? Do not. Instruct to do the same. And do not talk without an attorney. Because now you all are railroading us.
Railroading anybody. We're trying to figure out what is
You're
going
trying
on.
to figure out what happened.
Yeah.
And I just told you. And you're taking my kids out of my home, something you said you was not gonna do.
They're going to a house to be interviewed.
You're taking
He
them
told you we
away
were going
from me.
to. We're not taking them anywhere. We're taking them to go get interviewed.
Can I call a lawyer, please?
Do you want a
Can I
lawyer?
Call my family. Now I'm feeling like I'm boxed in. I can't even use my phone to call anyone.
We're seizing your phone. If you want a phone number or something out of there, we can get that for you. So if you want an attorney, we can be done with this, and we're just going to keep digging and digging and digging and digging.
And are you going to bring my kids back in the house?
After they're done interviewed, then DCFS is gonna
my kids without a lawyer though. Like,
they're not in trouble.
They're not.
I'm not there, and you're interviewing
because
them
you're
without
wanting to
me.
control them.
I'm not controlling them.
That's what you're saying. You're
No, I
saying
didn't.
you just sat here and instructed them to not talk or do
You're
anything.
taking them to some unknown place and questioning my kids.
We're not going to question them. There's trained professionals that it's called the Child Advocacy Center. Okay, and
But
a police
you're
officer.
taking them to a center. You just basically came
It's
and
a house
searched my
like a couple miles away from here.
You came and searched my house.
Well, we're not done searching it.
Yeah, with a warrant.
You're interrogating me,
Exactly.
and you are telling me I can't call family and I can't call a lawyer. I can't call a lawyer and let them know you are here. I can't call a lawyer to come here to my house while I'm being questioned by you.
If you want an attorney right now, we can we'll just be done.
We'll be done.
All right.
But the investigation continues.
Okay.
Okay. Go and turn it off for me.
Oh, no. I'm going to jail. What am I going to jail for? What have I done?
You just admitted to fraud.
So now you're going to railroad me on fraud?
Railroad you what? We're trying to figure out where your kid is. You're saying that he doesn't exist.
My kid. So now you're trying to railroad me.
Railroad you what? You did this to yourself.
Your officer just said he didn't. I didn't get any benefits though. I didn't file any IRS returns.
You're in possession of false documentation, and you already said that you signed up and have them for financial aid.
But I didn't. That's what I told you. Someone stole my identity.
You said you did it, but then they claim
I bought the documents. I told you I bought the documents. I told you I bought the documents, but they were never used for me. They were never used for me. I never used them. You don't have any proof that I used anything. That's not proof. Anybody could have done that.
Anybody? You said
yes.
You said you did
my
it.
identity was stolen. I'm working with the FBI about it.
Keep lying.
That's the truth.
With her admissions on fake documents, they cuff her for fraud offenses while they keep searching for Zion real or not. You will see Staples change from calm denial to panic as she gets caught. Investigators roll a recorded statement from the original tipster. Early January 2023, Sushi calls, crying, says Christmas will never be the same.
On January of 2023, the first week of January, I believe it was around the 3rd of January. It was between the 3rd or the 8th. I received a phone call from Sushi. And the phone call at first was just like a regular phone call, like how you been doing and stuff like that. And then I heard her like crying a little bit. And I asked her, I said, what's wrong? And she just stated to me that Christmas will never be the same again.
Admits her 9-year-old son Zion was fatally injured while handling a firearm. She never reported it, afraid DCFS would take the kids. Claims she bought a metal container and hid evidence at home, later talked about moving houses to put it behind her. The words land like concrete.
She then stated to me, I said, why, what happened? And she was like hesitant to bring it out and tell me. She then told me that her son she was gone from the house, and she told me that her son had shot himself.
And who do you know her son as?
Zion.
Okay.
She stated that he shot himself. At the time, he was 9 years old. I said, what do you mean he shot himself? I asked her several questions, like, how did he get a gun? Like, how did that happen? She explained to me that she had just stepped out to run some errands, and she received a call from her daughter saying that Zion was gone, and weeks went past. I asked her again about it. Then she started busting out in tears, and she told me she never turned it in. She feared that they would take her kids away, and she was scared to lose everything. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she said she still had them there. She told me she purchased a burning barrel from Home Depot or something like that you burn leaves and stuff in, and she stored them in that. I'm like, what? And she said, yeah, he was stored in that in her basement. She never showed me. I never seen it. She never actually showed me exactly where it happened in the house. She just told me it happened in her room. And that's why she redid her room, and we would have conversations about her moving and stuff like that, and how she wanted to move out the house, and maybe if she can move out the house and just put it behind her and no one would never know about it. And then she said that she would just have to live with it.
Zion's body had been in the trash can for over 7 months when police discovered it.
Let me walk out.
We'll cuff you in front, okay?
This is embarrassing. I can get in the car. Do you got to take my dignity away and put me in cuffs?
We're not gonna put him behind you, okay? We're gonna walk you to the car real quick, and then we'll get you out of here, okay?
My neighbors, they've been knowing me for 6 years. You see that badge over there? I work 2 jobs at Genesis.
I hear you.
I go to school out here. God, this is embarrassing.
After more than 7 months, investigators discover critical evidence connected to Zion at the residence. Forensic tests later confirmed a firearm incident that resulted in Zion's passing in December 2022. The medical report later confirmed a firearm injury. A boy reduced to paperwork and a bin. Rock Island PD and the county coroner confirmed Zion's cause of death as a firearm wound, likely an accident while handling his mother's firearm. Rather than report, Staples hid what happened to continue receiving benefits. On January 4th, 2024, she pled to child endangerment in a deal that dropped the other counts. On February 16th, she was sentenced to 2 years in prison, credited for time served, and released July 25th, 2024 under probation until January 2025. Prosecutors called her conduct as deeply troubling. In the end, investigators uncovered what Sushi had tried so hard to hide: a little boy named Zion, not a ghost of paperwork, but a child whose story was hidden for far too long. For the officers, this case wasn't about fraud or false names. It was about a child lost to silence. And for those watching, this criminal documentary stands as a reminder. The goal of this video is to increase understanding of law enforcement interactions. It is not created to ridicule or demean any party. In an era of distorted narratives and online speculation, it is vital to provide a clear and factual record for education and transparency.